Okay, so today we're doing something a little different. We're going to dive deep
Yeah.
into a story about a first, like a historical first.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we've got this YouTube transcript. It's about a woman named Sumayyah,
Okay.
and she's like this really important figure in early Islam. In fact, she's considered the first martyr in Islam.
Wow, the first martyr. That's significant.
Yeah, so her story, it's like super short but really powerful.
I bet.
So I think this is going to be a really fascinating deep dive.
Yeah, let's jump in.
Okay, so right off the bat, this transcript has a bunch of Arabic greetings and phrases.
Uh-huh.
Like, I see "sudunon" a lot. And also, "Nudun Zamaika
All right,
Antikya."
all right. Right.
I have to admit, I don't really know what these mean.
Oh, yeah. Well, so that's a common greeting in Islam. It basically means peace be upon you.
Oh.
You actually still hear it today.
Yeah, interesting.
It kind of shows how important peace and blessings are in Islamic culture.
That makes sense.
And those other phrases, like Osho Tamarish that you mentioned, they're all about showing respect,
Gotcha.
especially for the people named in the transcript, like Sumayyah,
Right.
her son Ammar, and this scholar named Mujahid.
So there's this, like, deep reverence for these early figures.
Oh, absolutely.
Can you tell me a bit more about them? Like, who were they and what did they do in early Islam?
Well, Sumayyah and Ammar, they were some of the very first people to convert to Islam.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like way back when the Prophet Muhammad was just starting to preach in Mecca.
That must have taken some serious courage.
Oh, for sure. Imagine embracing a whole new faith back then,
Yeah.
especially when it meant facing opposition and even persecution.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, just think about it. Embracing a new faith,
Totally.
especially when you're one of the first, it's really challenging.
Absolutely. And that's what makes Sumayyah's story even more incredible, right?
Exactly.
Like, she and her family, they held on to their beliefs even when things got really tough.
They did.
And the transcript, it doesn't sugarcoat it.
Nope.
It talks about Sumayyah's martyrdom.
It does.
And, that word martyrdom, it's such a heavy word. What does it actually mean in this context?
Well, in Islam, a martyr is someone who dies defending their faith.
I see.
They often face persecution because of what they believe.
Right.
And their sacrifice, it's seen as this powerful statement of their faith in God and their commitment to Islam.
Yeah.
And Sumayyah's death, as it's described in the transcript, it happened because she refused to give up her faith.
Wow.
She stood strong,
She did.
and ultimately, well, she paid the ultimate price.
It's really powerful,
It is.
I'm struck by her strength. Like, it's humbling, to face that kind of pressure
I know, right?
and still hold on to your convictions. It's amazing.
It really is.
The transcript says she was the first martyr in Islam. What does that tell us about the early Muslim community?
Well, I think it really shows the challenges they were up against. I mean, the early Muslims, they were a small group and often vulnerable.
Yeah.
They faced hostility and even violence
Wow.
simply because of their beliefs.
That's hard to imagine.
And Sumayyah's martyrdom, it became this powerful symbol
Rough.
of resistance, of faith, this testament to the strength of their conviction. And it's what fueled the growth of the Muslim community, even in the face of persecution.
Yeah. I think it's easy to forget about the sacrifices that people made in the past,
It is.
This deep dive has been a good reminder of that.
It really has. It makes you think, doesn't it, about the power of faith
Absolutely.
and the courage it can inspire.
It really does. It makes you think about the sacrifices people make for their beliefs, even today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you think stories like Sumayyah's inspire people of faith in our modern world?
That's a great question.
Something to think about, isn't it? What resonates with you, listener? It's definitely a question worth pondering. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.